you guys should all get Slack invites now. We're going to communicate on Slack. So this is like probably the 8th week that I've done. Normally we get a lot of new people, so I teach the same thing every time. But for those of you who are not here the first time, I'm going to do like sort of like secondary meetups where we go over more advanced stuff. But since we have new people every time, we're going to do like the basic token every single time, unless it gets like super boring. I know it's already boring for some of you, but basically, I also created a cryptocurrency called DevCash, which gets given to everybody who attends the meetups. And when we do like more advanced meetups, you can pay DevCash to attend. So I'm trying to create like a developer economy, and I've got a lot of ideas for it. We're going to have a website up soon, you can see if you're interested. But this meetup is, I'm also helping people in the world start their own developer meetups. So that's why this meetup is called Blockchain Developers United, because it's supposed to be like a bigger network of different meetups. So, well, now that I've got that out of the way, I'll just move on. I usually do community announcements, so if anybody wants to tell people about a project they're working on, or it's just, they're a developer that's looking for a project to work on, or anything, meetups of any kind, I'll give you like 1 or 2 minutes to talk to everyone else. So if there's anyone, just let me know. Yeah. You can come here and talk.
Oh, that's fine, I can speak. My name is Michael Herman, and I've been doing some Ethereum development. I've attended a number of his sessions before. There's also a similar blockchain to Ethereum called Neo, and I've just started a new Neo blockchain Toronto meetup group, just as of this morning. So, join them all and be part of the larger group. So that's the Neo blockchain Toronto group. On meetup.
Nice. I'm slightly afraid that people couldn't find this place because it's kind of like tricky to find. Let me just check the. Oh, no comments. That's good. Yeah. So, is anybody not on Slack? You have to go to that link, put your email, and I'll invite you. So, we're going to need. Basically, the tools you need for this are very simple. All you need is Chrome and MetaMask. It's a Chrome extension. And MetaMask acts like a wallet and lets you interact with smart contracts. And I'll show you how. But first, just download MetaMask. And so the website is metamask.io. I'm just going to give people time to get on Slack, but for now, I'll show you how it's done. Just go to metamask.io, just go to Chrome extension, and once it's installed, it'll be a little thing like this. And then you want to create your account, and that'll give you access to your own Ethereum wallet. We can actually store Ethereum and all types of different tokens. Here, there's like, you can select which network you're on. We'll be using the Robson test network. If we use the main network, all of our smart contract deployments and token transfers would actually have like a cost in real Ether. So you wouldn't be able to use that unless you had access to Ether. So we're going to be using this, and you're going to want to get like testnet Ethereum. Usually the faucet works, but I guess it's not working today. So I'm actually going to like manually send everybody testnet Ether. One second. Adrian, can you post your address in here? I'm going to send you a bunch of testnet Ether.
On the Slack?
Yeah. So, don't worry if you're not here yet. I'll give you time to catch up. But basically, what you want to do once you're here and you've created an account is you want to copy the address and just paste it into the stack, and we'll actually get you like testnet Ethereum, so you can run smart contracts and do all kinds of different things.
It's working now.
What, the faucet? Yeah. Well, the faucet's working, that's great. It's not working for me, so.
It didn't work the first time.
Really?
The what networking? For the Robson testnet. Robson.
Hey. Yeah. What's the room number?
ARC 108.
ARC 108. Yeah, yes.
Oh no, it's actually the tutorial is backwards. Very basic.
Just a moment, guys. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so the faucet's actually working. So you can actually just go to the little buy button here, and the Robson test faucet will give you 1 Ether, just one that's button. And if you do it too much, it will say don't be greedy. Cool. Yeah, Adrian, you can still send out these addresses.
What's that?
On Slack,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of addresses you can just send them to.
Okay.
They will. Hey. Yeah, for those of you who just got here, here's the Wi-Fi. You need to download MetaMask, and you need to put your email here so you can get invited to Slack. And can you invite over to Slack? Yes. Does anyone else want to do like, actually I'll leave that for another 2 minutes. So, who's new here? So who's actually deployed a smart contract before? 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Cool. Yeah, so basically, we're going to go through how to create a token on Ethereum. Is anybody not aware what a token means? What it means to have a token on Ethereum? So I'll explain that first. just real quick because basically on Ethereum you can have smart contracts, which is just like code that gets deployed on the blockchain, and you're able to execute it under different conditions. And the whole point is, because the blockchain, Ethereum blockchain lets you store information on there that's not prone to like changes. So it's super secure in that once you put it on there, it's never going to change. So you can use it as a way to store information that's like vital information that you don't want anyone to tamper with. And that's important for code because if you can put code on there that doesn't change, nobody can tamper with it. Therefore, you can trust it to some extent to like do the same thing every time as advertised. And it's out there and everybody can see it. And basically, one of the types of smart contracts that you can do on Ethereum is you can pretty much just make tokens. So Ethereum already has its own currency called Ether. But what you can do, what a lot of people have been doing is maybe making a currency on top of Ethereum. And what is the currency? Basically, it's nothing more than a ledger that says who owns how much, and that's it. And then there's a way for people to transfer tokens, which means that my balance gets deducted by 50 tokens, and your balance gets added to by 50 tokens. And that's it. All it is just a record of who owns what tokens. And that's all it takes to have a currency. So it's actually like very simple in principle. Here's like a list of the most popular tokens on Ethereum at the moment. This website is called ftor.io, and basically lets you see like all types of information about like any type of token that's on Ethereum. So if you click on one of them, slow to load. It's going to show you a list of recent transfers. And it's going to show you a list of all of the holders of the token. So you can plainly see pretty much the rich list of every single token on Ethereum out there. Which is pretty interesting. It's not really possible to hide things anymore. Well, I mean, this is broad statement, but most tokens have like, one or two addresses that just hold very large amounts. So as you can see here, one address is holding 34%. And then, here it says the top 10 addresses hold 66% of the tokens. And the top 100 addresses hold maybe like 90% of the tokens. A lot of tokens these days are out there are like that. They're kind of badly distributed, you know what I'm saying? So, for example, with this token, only 100 addresses hold 90% of the tokens. You'll see that type of thing a lot. Does anyone have any questions so far?
So how can we know the meaning of each token?
Yeah. So this is the name of the token here, Tronics.
What is it for?
Sorry, what is it for? You might have to Google that to find out. Yeah, you can probably just Google it. Yeah, you can Google all of these. You can Google all of these, Okay, so the number of questions, I'm just going to show you what a token code actually looks like. How many of you are actually programmers? Oh, very few. Okay, so you'll be able to follow this. How many of you have actually tried any type of blockchain programming? have here is, this is the ERC 20 standard. Who's not heard of the ERC 20 standard? Okay. Most of you probably have heard of it if you've been around for a while in the blockchain space. It's basically just a type of smart contract. And all it is just an interface that has specific function names with specific parameters. So in order for a token to be ERC20 compliant, all it has to do is just have these function names with those parameters, and it doesn't have to have any of the code inside. So it doesn't mean much in that sense, but there's also, recommended implementations that has like standard code. But technically, you could have these functions with bad code that steals people's tokens, and it will still be an ERC20 token, but people wouldn't trust it. What's up?
Yeah, it's a question. What's the email for the Wi-Fi?
Oh, sure, yeah, I'll put it up again. Anyone who missed the Wi-Fi is right here.
It's on the whiteboard.
Oh, yeah, it's on here too. And anyone who came in just now, go to this link and drop your email, and we'll invite you to Slack. So once you're on Slack, there's actually 2 reasons to put your address. One is we're going to send you testnet tokens, and the other one is we're going to send you dev cash too, just for attending. So instead of paying for class, you actually get paid for it.
Send me the money.
Although dev cash has no value yet. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go back to the code. These are the names of the functions. The total supply, balance of gives you the balance of any particular address. And transfer lets you send tokens from your wallet to somebody else's. So I'm just going to go over how the transfer function works, because it's the most important function in the whole smart contract. And basically, it's pretty simple. What it does is it subtracts a certain amount of tokens from your wallet, from your address, and adds that amount to the person you're sending to. And that's it. And also you can do a check, to see if you have enough tokens as well. But yeah, you don't have that here, but I probably should. Yeah, does anyone not understand this at the moment? You can ask questions, I don't mind. Cool. So everybody should have MetaMask by now. We're just going to breeze through this, and then we're going to do something else afterwards. But what I need everyone to do is go to remix.ethereum.org. And this is like a really useful web tool where you can write smart contracts, and you can deploy them in conjunction with MetaMask. So, this is the easiest way to do it. I know some of you have done this before, but since we've got a lot of new people, we're just going to run through it. Basically, you guys have to go to this GitHub repository, and we're going to copy the code of the smart contract that lets us make an ERC20 token, and then deploy it. So just Google GitHub consensus, and then tokens. I'll put it in the Slack. Actually, you will. Can you put it in the Slack? I don't know what you know where it is, right? This repository. Oh, yeah, just put the link in the Slack. And you want to go to contracts, and click on EIP20. And what we're going to use the EIP20.sol and the EIP20 interface.sol. This is the interface, and this is the actual, what the actual code is. So once you're on that site, you just go inside, copy the code, and what you want to do is the little plus button in the corner here, and just rename it as EIP20 interface, and paste it from there. So you have a new solidity file now. You create new solidity files from this button. You name it. And what we have here is the interface contract. And basically, this line tells you the version. This is where you start the contract. This is where you give the total supply variable. And then you declare all the functions that you want to use. And these two things are events, and they're just like loggers that just log when certain things happen. So every time someone transfers tokens, it's logged by this event. Oh, it's not yet Slack. Slack link. Oh, it's not in the record. So if you just arrived, you gotta go here first, and you can join Slack from there, and everything else is on Slack. Okay, so next we want to use this one, EIP20.sol. And as you can see, it imports the interface, and it actually inherits the other contract. That's what the is keyword does. That means that it inherits all the properties of the previous contract. So just copy it from here down, from import down. And just put it bottom. So you got to think about like what you want to call your token. So I'm just putting like your name here because in the past I put like token name and everybody just copied like my exact name. So this way. Cool. It's not blockchain this, yeah, it's just blockchain this. Is anyone like, okay, wait, just gonna paste this in first. Yeah. So we imported the IP20 interface.sol, and here's the contract for it. Does anyone like, not know what to do or lost? Can you get help? Can I help with that? Yeah. If at any time you want help, just put your hand up and get someone to help you. Okay, good. You want help with this? You know what to do, right? Yeah. Help on that guy. Up there.
So just to run through this out again, you copy and pasted the EIP20 interface first, and then the
EIP20 interface here. And what you want to do is you want to create a new file.
and then create a brand new one after that.
And yeah, create a second file.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and you want to put in this contract.
Then just copy paste the whole thing.
So, you know,
Who else is having trouble?
Are you importing or are you placing these all together?
Important. I'm just gonna let people get caught up real quick. Yeah. Yep.
like I know I'm sending something.
I got it right away.
Yeah. That's fine. You can send people who want to use this. Okay, that's fine.
What are the contracts?
Because although the is this, it's like whether it's like 8,000 cents. Don't find it's just like it's like doing stuff like this. Like I guess like a test net like with your system. So you can do something with this. I think it's one more.
So just translate to like actual.
Send it to your actual address.
What's that? I just had a quick question for you.
Sure, yeah.
Just on the second one, it just says that it was unable to import. Just wondering what I possibly did wrong.
Just gonna help you.
Okay, sweet. I need some help over here.
You can just.
So on the second.
So what I just showed you guys how to do pretty much is like all the code you need to deploy your code. So once you're there, you want to rename your file, but most importantly, you want to rename your contract.
Gotcha. Okay, so the initial one.
Your contract needs to be
Then if
renamed
I
to your point.
add a new one, I would still have a one.
And once you do that, you also have to rename your instructors. They have to be the exact same name.
Gotcha. Okay. Or I could have called that a different one.
Yeah, what's up?
What about like, so you said rename it to the
was
what
very
you want it to be, but is there
Keep it at that
a
for now.
length restriction? Does it matter?
What?
Length restriction on the name?
A length restriction? I'm not sure what the max length is. You can try and see what happens.
Yeah, so it was, you know, most of them have 3 letters, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's just the total symbol.
Okay.
Yeah, the name's the total. But yeah, there's no restriction
For
up to
either?
letters. There's no beyond here.
And is there anything wrong or bad about that? If you go above 3?
No, not really. Well, I mean, it just depends on the size.
So that it fits, and if it doesn't fit, you don't get in there.
So,
So it's an issue with all others, it's not.
Right. This reminds me of like.
people generally caught up.
I see us around them.
They code them
Great
off. So I'm gonna go on to the next step. If someone feels like they're left behind, just put your hand up.
Like a math and computer science enriched program. So they can
So what you want to do is you want to go to the Run tab here. This is where you run smart contracts. And if you look closely at the construction function, you can tell me what these 4 things are. Anyone know what these four lines do? Yeah, so it's basically like parameters that you put in as you deploy the smart contract. Yeah. So Remix actually lets you you want, because we specified here that you need to specify these four parameters before you can deploy the token. There's the initial amount, the name of the token, how many decimals it has, and the token symbol. So you need to do it in this little box here. First select the name of your the contract you want to deploy, and then you're going to put in some variables. So, how many tokens do you want? I want like first I'm going to explain something about the amounts of tokens and the decimal places. So the thing about Ethereum or blockchains in general is that you cannot have fractions. It only deals with whole numbers. So in that case, how do you actually have a currency that has decimal places? Well, the answer is if you want a currency with 3 decimal places and 1,000 coins, you actually need to make 1,000,000 units and say that each coin is worth 1,000 units. So if you want 1,000 coins with 3 decimal places, you actually need to make the amount of 1,000,000, and that way you're going to have 1,000.000 coins. Does anyone understand that? So I want 1,000 coins with 3 decimal places. So I'm going to put 1,000,000 here. And for the token name, let's call it your name here. String has to go in quotes, and then you press comma. And then decimal units is 3. And then the token symbol, he's going to put yours. So that's what my parameter inputs look like.
Yeah, is your letting you can put a name?
You don't follow the exact parameters that I put, just follow the syntax. So you put initial amount, comma, the name of your token inside quotes, comma, number of decimal places, another comma, and then your token symbol inside quotes. Yes?
Can I get someone can get to that?
Yeah. So once you have that, first check that you have some Robson F in your hand. You guys don't have any laptops?
I got mine.
Does anyone else have tested it? Oh, by the way, you have to switch your network to Robson.
I just can't select it. Yes, I have this.
Oh, I guess right now
There's like the name. This one is lowercase.
Oh yeah, no.
The name.
here's the fun part. Here's the employer contract. Just by clicking this button, that you've done everything right up to this point. Just press create. And you're going to get a little pop-up from the mask, and you lose it. Anyone stuck anywhere?
Yeah. So is there somebody that can,
Yeah.
I'll just wait for.
Yeah, sure. Anyone else got stuck?
Did you get a word? So make sure the name of the interface is like the right capitalization is what it's looking for in the not interface file. So you see where it says at the top something is EIP20 interface or whatever? Yeah, so make sure that is like the font of that is correct with the first file we created.
Oh, yours is just called. Yeah, I called mine.
What the hell did I miss?
How many students are there? One for every student.
It's like 31 million.
This one is the name, this one.
Okay, I'll do that.
I just don't remember.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Can I create
Where do you want this
Try to get as many people as possible. Like I'm saying, the navigation is
I want to try to set a and have
I'm saying this.
it's not real.
No, I don't know. I guess like Ethereum has a test net, and as you can really push it,
Yes, I just didn't.
So whatever the parameters of the create line is just the number, comma, and the name.
yeah, so the number you want, the name, and then decimals, but like that. So if you put 2, for example, like I'll have 31,000, you need to put like,
Your name again, comma, and then just like if I want 5 decimals, I put 5.
yeah, but if you have 5 decimals and you have like 500,000, yeah, you're gonna have like nothing, 0.5. Or whatever, you have to have 5.
Okay, so I have my paper. But this one has. So.
Yeah,
It's actually about this. I should put that
no, that's great. So yeah, for this one, the first one, but you would need more on but I think I'm from New York, it's kind of
So guys, once you deploy your contract, you store it in Metamask like this, and you can look at it on Etherscan. I'll show you 2 things.
ask him that.
So this is the transaction that's deployed to the contract. This is the transaction hash, and this is the contract address. Every time you deploy a contract, the contract generates a contract address to the contract. And that's pretty much like a unique identifier for your token. So we just copy that, copy the contract address, and go to tokens and press add token. And you can just paste it in here, and your token symbol and decimal point should automatically populate. And just add it, and you'll see that you have a number of tokens. So try that out. And if you do it right, feel free to help your neighbor.
Can you do it one more time?
Yeah, sure. So what you do, you click on the contract that you publish, and you find your contract address. So you're going to find your contract address. Once you have your contract address, you add your token, and you put it in here. See where it says token contract address? You got to paste it in there, and just add it. Hey, look, you repost this back.
There's all these warnings about it.
should have a token, and you should be able to see how many tokens you have on MetaMask. And basically, you didn't do this yourself, but inside the code, you actually allocated yourself your own address tokens. It says that inside the code. Unfortunately, MetaMask doesn't let you send tokens, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to my Ether wallet, add our tokens, and like send them between each other. So you guys can all send your tokens between one another.
I just need some help.
Oh, right.
Why do you need my Ether wallet?
I'm clicking create, I'm getting like a syntax error.
You got it. So you got your contact.
So I got you here.
So here you're supposed to put your name in quotation.
So I'm going to show you these guys. This is
And also just put
I feel like I'm in the
yeah, so you
go
put
to
quotation.
myetherwallet.com.
Right. So
And it's very
I just left these spaces, but now I should be able to.
very nifty. It just lets you create your MetaMask.
What's the
So, oh, sorry. First you have to select the
Yeah, so I feel like you're token.
So select Robson Network up here. And go to MetaMask. And connect to MetaMask. You should see your balance. And what you want to do next?
I got this.
Sorry, which Robson do you click on?
I
There's
clicked
two.
on Robson Infura.
Infura, okay.
Yeah. You want to get your contract address. And you want to add a custom token down here. That's what your token symbol and does. Sorry?
After selecting option network,
Yeah. You can, sorry?
after selecting the network, what?
Yeah, so after selecting the option network, click on send Ether tokens and go to MetaMask and just connect it to your MetaMask.
You get that?
Come on, sorry.
That's
Yeah, that's it.
Let's skip this.
Can you try to click out? Yeah, okay, go there. Click that. Go to the Infura, the Robson.
Yep. So I got 1,000 of my own tokens. And the beauty of this is I can not only add my own token, but I can add any of your tokens as well. And you can send them to me.
MetaMask.
So what I want people to do is paste their contract address, their decimal places, and their token symbol on Slack. So people can add each other's tokens, and that way we'll be able to like send and receive between everybody. Do you have a question?
So once I published it,
You
I get the contract
Oh, okay.
address. And then what do I do? How do I put on?
So you go
What gas limit did you set? Does it matter?
I just use the default gas limit, it doesn't matter. Gas limit is just like the maximum amount of gas that you can
Oh, sorry,
use.
the way.
The price?
Yeah.
Even one way works, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah.
Go to my Ether wallet.
It took a little while with like 50.
So,
Let's click out.
Is the contract?
Copy and paste that.
My this one. Contract address or
Yes. Yes, the same one.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. The symbol is in there.
Oh.
Sorry, you made that?
Yeah. Now what?
That's it. I think that's enough. Then you can send it back and forth.
But it's not on my wallet.
Yeah. Post it in the Slack. There?
Do you help edit the top of your wallet?
Yeah, so I did that.
So then you want to copy your address.
You can see it.
Then post it in the Slack.
Sorry guys, I want to add you guys tokens, but I can't get on the Slack right now. But you guys should all add each other's tokens.
Wasn't that before then?
And
Because like it had another.
you'll be able to, I mean, it's just like a good exercise to try. So I'm gonna like leave like 5-10 minutes, like 10 minutes, just so you guys can try that out.
So just push it.
And let's go around and help people out if they need help.
Oh, there it is.
Sweet. Now what do I do with it?
Now we're going to transfer them back and forth.
What's your, try to send some information.
How?
Just copy and paste your address in here, and I'll try to send you some information.
Which one of my addresses?
Yeah, just copy and paste that and just put it into the Slack.
What are we putting into Slack?
Just your address from here.
Just the MetaMask address? You don't have to add tokens to it?
No. I was going to see if I can send it.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for actually the best $20 watches.
Is that where it's like a smaller one?
Yeah. It's like Casio thing. There's one person here.
Yo, Will, this guy needs to be invited to Slack. Yeah. Sorry? Oh, and this guy too. So go to Or anyone who's not yet on Slack, just go to this link right here, and you can send an invite.
Okay, let's go.
So do it through, That's what he said.
Oh, is this how you do it?
So you're gonna try to get some basic.
Yeah, and then put my address there.
So if I see your address, I can send you Slack. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, you're on there. Okay. Yeah, you.
Remember my
Yeah.
it
still doesn't work as fast. Right now,
Yeah, I don't know. But also my actual size.
Yo, I sent you the
Yeah.
How long did it take?
I don't know. I think it depends like on how long the gas or whatever. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh, there it says.
they're all pre-created.
Oh, but I sent you Ethereum.
Oh no, you should on this when you're over here. This when you're on this.
It might fill
You have to pick your token.
Oh Oh yeah, I wasn't sending it to you from the, what do you use to send it from? Oh, from the My Wallet?
My wallet.
Oh, okay. I was sending it from,
My address? So, no, I put it on the Slack. Oh, you're not on the Slack? I have it on the Slack.
And you know what's
Yeah, just kind of.
So guys, once you have
Good room for this.
tokens, you can actually send tokens
For free.
by putting the recipient's address here, and just select your token, the amount of tokens,
Yeah.
and then
You want to make an announcement in 20 seconds. So you sent your email?
I sent,
You send it?
you get net?
yeah. So that's should be simple enough. Has anyone successfully sent tokens to each other?
I should have been able to.
You have?
I didn't get yours.
You
I can see
got it,
that
right?
it left. Like, it's actually
guys sending tokens out?
How long should it take to send?
Transaction, it shouldn't take that long.
Like mine says it's on, but she doesn't have it.
Yeah, mine has also done.
You need to add your. You have to add. Yeah, you have to add.
Okay.
Oh, I have to add her.
No, she has to add your token into her things. You have to see it.
So here.
Go down. Just go down. There's the add token.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta add his contract address.
Second.
So essentially nobody's receiving anybody else's tokens that they're sending because
Well, they're receiving it, but you just don't
They
know
didn't
where
add
to
that
look.
one
You have to know where to look to see your balance.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But they're there. In fact, they don't belong here, they're just numbers on a ledger.
Okay, yeah. I see you mean.
So
But you have to like have that know and understand that
You
it's
have to know
there.
which ledger to look at.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should be able to get yours. This was in here.
Hold on, I'll send you mine. What's your token symbol?
RYC. So get you
Are you RYT?
RYC.
Oh, okay. I sent some to RYT.
Oh no. You got it?
Yeah.
Well, once you put the contract address, it automatically changes. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yo, send me some RYT, bro.
Yeah, I'll send it. What's your second?
5 UL. 5.
Not bad. I got one.
That's my address.
Oh, so you use
So what's your name?
Paul.
Paul? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it like I'm done.
Nap?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna take your stuff.
Yeah, I'll add you in there.
You know what I was wondering for that?
Who's Zoe Cash?
Going long for the table. They changed the whole table. Of course,
Do you have your contact address or
I thought it was like sent from a long time ago. It happens to be here. I just changed it before they. I thought about it. I'm disappointed.
Oh, here. Oh, and then I'm pretty sure you need to like do this thing. That token.
Did you add my thing? Did you get my thing?
So
And then for
guys,
some reason your address says that it's not legit.
before you go, don't forget to put your address in the back.
The one that says contract address?
Like your contract address.
Send death cash. And you can use, the address is the same for,
No, I sent you my
your testnet address and your mainnet address are the same, so you don't have to.
I did. Right there. The 51 one is my address. I think you use that.
You start putting all the addresses.
You can double check.
Like this one? No, just give me a CSV. I'll send out the Give me a CSV.
I got it.
You have mine?
Sure.
Are you sure you put in the contract address, not the actual address?
Or whatever you sent on Slack.
Because I sent 2, right?
Are you in Slack?
Oh yeah, your contract address below. I didn't see that.
That's the one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, ask for that. They're being like,
I didn't mean that. I mean, man. I don't know if
Just
What's your email? Here, just your
Oh, I got it right quick.
Nice. Okay, I'll try some. I'll send you some. Give me your.
It's all there. Something like that.
I actually have a Slack. I don't want to run my beautiful computer.
I committed to it. I'm like scared.
You want the Slack?
You don't want it. So, I'm like such a doubt.
I also have like at the meetup, there was what was it called? It was an event called Vatio that they used to do.
so we're gonna like go to the next section soon.
Did you add us?
I added you, and I sent you some of mine as well.
And it's a Slack.
With some Rothstein too.
First,
If you got any of this.
I just didn't get like, I don't have where to put your contract address.
Here's our
I
job.
put the, let me double check actually.
Hi guys, how's everyone doing? Thanks to Adrian and Antoine for having me. Just like two fans, I really want to see this community coming together. Blockchain and Bitcoin. We have partnered with L4 Ventures as well as Adrian's group and Antoine, multiple groups, put on a number of events around Toronto. We have a big one February 22nd at the Rogers Development Theatre. They're a little bit different than the standard meetups. Full meal, formal presentation. I think there's going to be about 10 demos that day. So you can find us at meetup.com, Ethereum-developers, or it's all over the internet. It's on Eventbrite, it's on Universe, etc. February 22nd, or you get the info from Adrian and Antoine. I believe we're offering a 50% discount for Ryerson students, but we are checking student cards. So
Did you get mine?
just keep that in mind. And thanks for having me. Have fun. Great to see everyone moving the community forward. And hope to see you guys in the
Awesome.
You added the token there?
Yeah.
Nah.
Is there anyone who wants to do like a particular type of smart contract? Don't be shy.
Say that again?
Is anyone, yeah. What's, do you have anything in mind? Like a particular type of smart contract? Crowd sale, okay. Were you going to say something?
I was looking for EVM, electronic voting machines.
Oh, electronic voting machine. It'd be a little bit hard for me to do that off the top of my head, but I can click crowd-sale window. Actually, what we can do is we can use the same token contract and just add crowd-sale to that. So what do we do?
Yeah, send me some money, bro.
By the way, guys, the Slack's for like, you guys can all talk to each other. It's just kind of like a developer community. So if you want to, if you have questions or stuff, like projects you want to share, or like questions you have, or like you don't know how to do something, or you need like a tutorial or something, just go into Slack and if no one else, I'll try to answer you, but other people will be there too. So, you know, probably good to check in there once in a while. But for now, okay, so we're gonna add a little crowd sale element into this contract. It's kind of how you do ICOs, but you don't have to make it an ICO. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so that when you add funds to the contract address, it's gonna give you tokens. So I'm just gonna do it in a really simple way. There's lots of different ways to do this, but I'm just gonna do it in a simple way. So if you guys just open up your token code, you can kind of copy what I'm doing. Just gonna make a variable called ICO supplied. Make it like, you can make whatever you want.
What do I have to match?
I just need 1 minute. So what you want to do is you want to add a fallback function. Fallback function in Solidity is just a function that has no name. And basically, this function gets called whenever, like a transaction is sent to the contract, but no specific function was called. It's going to go to the fallback function. It's going to call the fallback function. So every time it doesn't know what function to call, it's going to call this one. So effectively, that means that when you send ether to it, ether to the contract, you don't tell it which which function to execute. It's just going to automatically call this one. So you can actually use this function to like accept ether and like dispense tokens in return. So does anyone know what this keyword does?
Return.
Sorry?
Return the value.
No, it doesn't return the value.
Is it Solidity specific?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, it makes it so that the function is able to accept ether. So if you don't put this, then any ether that you send to it will automatically get sent back. But if you put a table in here, and if you send ether to it, then the ether will go inside the contract. Or it will go into wherever you determine to go. So inside here, what we want to do is we want to say, okay, so we also want to add here another variable called ICO price. And this is going to be like how many whey does each token cost? So 1 ether is split up into 10 to the 18 whey. So if you want to say that you get 100 tokens per ether, then each token costs 10 to the 18 divided by 100, which is 10 to the 16. So there's a little bit of math that you need to know to really understand this stuff properly. Basically, one ether is composed of 10 to the 18 whey. That's a really big number. That's like That's a billion millions, or a trillion, quintillion, I think. So I'm going to say here, ICO price equals 10 to the 15, which means that every ether you put in is going to get you 1,000 tokens.
How'd you do the to the 15? I just can't see those symbols there. Is that 2 stars?
Yeah, there's 2 stars, yeah. So, we're going to have a little variable here called here, amount received equals message.value. And message.value is the amount of ether that got sent to this function. So when I send ether to the contract, it's going to automatically call this function, and it's going to get the amount of ether sent by this. And the actual numerical value of this message.value is literally the amount of weight that was sent. So if someone sends 1 ETH, then this value will equal 10 to the 18.
Can you zoom in?
Yeah, I can. Where's the first one? So here, this is just a simple check that's being done to make sure that the ISO supply exceeds the number of tokens that we want to send out to the person who gave the ether. Because if the tokens that we want to dispense exceeds the ICO supply, then we want to stop everything from happening. So this statement will do that. It's only going to go past this point if the supply is greater than the amount of tokens that are to be dispensed. So we want to do 2 things. We want to do ICO supply, subtract the tokens to dispense, and the balance of message.sender. So there's a few things here that I need to explain. One is, what is this? This is called a mapping. Here, this is mapping right here. And this is nothing more than a list of addresses mapped to balances. So it's literally a list of which addresses hold which balances. So in inside this fallback function, when someone sends ether, we're updating the balance of the person who sent ether. That's message.sender. That's the person who sent the ether. And we're updating it by this amount. And that's pretty much it. So what you can do is you can just deploy that and test it and see if it works. And you can buy each other's tokens. Okay, let's try this out. Gotta put in all the variables. Everyone remember how to do this? So I'm actually creating 1 million tokens in 3 decimal places. So I created a billion because you have to, a billion units with 3 decimal places equals 1 million tokens. Oh, survey. Okay, you go to stuff. Guys, Will's going to put out a survey on the Slack. It'd be really helpful if you fill it in at some point. Helpful for us. Yeah, if you do the survey, you'll earn extra dev cash. Okay. Oh, this is going to Slack. Oh, we'll get him on Slack. Yeah. He's going to tabulate all the balances.
Are we creating a new coin? Is that what we're doing?
Guys, we're just compiling a list. I'm going to actually send out like dev cash to everyone who's joining me at some point. Pretty soon.
So now what happens is if someone sends you Ethereum, you have to reject your token.
Yeah, so I deployed the contract.
So your contract address is still the old one?
No, it's going to be a new contract.
It's going to be a new contract address.
Yes, every time you deploy a new contract, it's a new address. So I deployed it. This is my contract address. So once you deploy it, Remix is very useful. It lets you actually interact with the contract through this right here. So look, I'm taking my address from MetaMask, and I'm checking the balance. So right now I have 1 million tokens. Now what happens when I send 1 ether? I should have an extra 1,000 tokens. Because I put 10 to 15, which is 1,000 of 1 ether. So if I send 1 ether, I should have 1,000 tokens. So that's my contract address, I believe. Yes. That's it, yeah. So what I got to do is I got to take the contract address and send some ether to it. If you don't have a whole ether, you can send 0.1 or something like that, doesn't matter. Submit it. And we're going to check my balance once that ether arrives. Once the ether transaction gets mine. There we go. Okay, so let's check my balance. Uh-oh, didn't work.
So,
I must have done something wrong.
I'm trying to get this straight in my head, so the question might not make sense. But you created one contract with a token called yours.
Yeah.
And then didn't you just deploy a completely different contract also with the name yours?
Yes, that's correct.
So when it's adding, how does it know it's the same coin?
They're 2 different contracts.
So why was the balance be added to the original yours?
Oh, I'm not checking the first contract, I'm only checking my second contract.
Oh, so you're checking to see if balance has been removed from that contract?
No, I was just, I'm ignoring the first contract. Now I'm just using the second contract.
Yeah, so in this case, you just sent 1 ether to that contract.
To the contract that I just deployed, to the second contract.
Yeah.
My second contract.
So it should have then sent back to the sender 1,000 of that token.
Yeah, because the account is same. Both
So then-
the account creation and the sending is same.
Sorry?
the creation of the contract address and the account from where you're sending one ether is same. So
No, it's different. The contract address is different from your account address. Yeah.
But then shouldn't we see the balance decrease?
Sorry?
Shouldn't we see the balance decrease from the contract? If you've just removed, you've sent tokens to the sender?
Hold on. Oh, wait a second. I used the wrong contract. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see where you, hold on. Let me just check something.
Has the transaction gone through?
Yeah, it's going through, yeah. Total supply. Oh, sorry, that's balance up. Never mind. I was using the wrong thing. My bad. Let's look. Okay, so something went wrong. That's what happens when you put contracts in the file. It doesn't always work perfectly. Let's try this again.
And potentially unrelated question, but the default behavior of the fallback function, is that to always send tokens back? So we don't need to put like a return statement
No,
of
the
the equivalent
fallback
at the
function
end?
only does what you tell it to.
So I mean with that balances, we update the mapping, but you actually have to send...
Yeah, I update
Yeah,
the balances of the balance of the person who sent me. Sorry.
Oh, okay, so that essentially is the directive to send ether back to that sender.
Oh, I know why this didn't work. What am I doing?
Or do we actually need to...
Message value. Oh, sorry. I need to do something.
amount to see?
It's actually, I forgot to use the decimal places. Hold on. No.
Is there a debugger you can step through?
Sorry?
Is there like a debugger that can step through contract execution?
I'm not sure.
Excellent.
That feels really helpful.
So
Yeah, that would be helpful.
SES was not easy.
Yours is working with the same code? Oh, yeah? Okay, so the contract works, it just didn't work for me.
So it's fine.
No, because the way I worked it takes from this arbitrary number called ICO supply.
Oh, so you already give yourself a certain amount?
Yeah.
And there's another amount?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In this case, yes. Okay, let me try this one more time. But yeah, like I'm showing you right now, it's not that complicated to program an ICO. I mean, market crash and everything, so people are probably less willing to buy them now. Okay, so balance. Okay, so I have 1 million tokens. Now let's get the contract address.
Wait, that's it, yeah.
So we're going to wait for this to mine and check if my balance got updated. It should be updated by 1,000 tokens. So I should have 1,001,000 if this works correctly.
Wait, did you send him what you...
So it works, eh? Okay.
Send you my Rye coin. Do you need it? Did you add it to the thing?
I have RYC here, but I don't have any Rye coin. But no, you sent me Ether because I have 22 Ether now.
22.
Yeah. What did you send?
What?
Two decimal places. What did you send it with? MetaMask or with the my wallet, my Ether wallet?
Send you Rye coin.
Try again.
one is, oh, it's the E9.
Is this
Yes,
this
it's
address from MetaMask?
Can you look at the balance?
Oh, does it say contract?
Yeah.
That's the contract address to get my like coin in your wallet.
Yeah, no, I
You
got.
can scroll up, you'll get my actual wallet.
Sorry,
This one.
Yeah, that's what you have to send to.
There we go. Yeah, 1,000 extra tokens. That was incredible money.
This is incompatible with yours. Check something.
Okay, so the contract should work. I'm gonna post the code in the Slack. You guys can copy it if you want. Or actually, you should be posting in the Slack somewhere. Yeah, just post it as I post it. Yeah, you just being typing, fine. Doesn't matter much. Does anyone have questions about it? Yeah?
How will I use date time to manipulate the feeds along?
Daytime? There's some time functions in the trading ranges. It's like hours and days and stuff like that.
Like compared to different programming languages, like I'm using datetime.now in C#.
Programming languages?
Like compared to other programming languages,
Yeah.
as in C# we use datetime.now to get the latest date time from the server. Is
I don't think that idea. Actually, the blockchain doesn't know what time it is. Blockchain has no idea what time it is.
Suppose, for
You use the
example,
protocol to know the exact time.
That's what
Yeah, you can use the. I'll have to check. Yeah, I'll have to check.
even using a date as constant, how would I do it?
Sorry?
Even using a date as constants, like how you use constants over there to define the ICO supply and
Constants. Sorry, your question is how to use constants?
constants, like as date times.
As constants as daytime? So you want like hardcode date time?
Yeah, hardcode date time.
I'm not sure. Why don't you just like bring it up on Slack? We'll try and figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll post my question.
Yeah, and we'll try to figure that out. Does anyone else have questions at all? Sure, what's up?
We use consensus as like the template.
Yeah.
What is consensus?
It's a company. It's like a blockchain, Ethereum-based company.
So if there are updates made to, like,
Yeah, they make updates that you can like.
is consensus a pretty decent place to go to if you want the most up to date?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you deploy the contract, they might like update their recommended token implementation like 2 months later. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But your old one will still work. Anyone still any questions at all?
And it's not possible to alter the contract. You'd have to create a new contract. If there was a security update or something written, you'd have to redeploy a new contract.
You
And have
cannot
everyone-
change already deployed contracts.
Yeah.
If you want to change something at all, if you want to change anything, you have to deploy a new contract.
Yeah.
You just said like we cannot change the contract. How about the only owner? You have seen I've seen some smart contracts have this own attribute inherit from the.
Oh yeah, you can smart contracts can have like, you can set variables, you can set like parameters,
That's it.
but you can't change the code of the smart contract. Yeah.
So what's the benefit of like putting in like the side panel or like the name of the contract and decimal places versus putting it into a code?
You can just put in the code. Yeah. I mean, the constructor thing is good for if you want other people to deploy your contracts, and then it's easier for them maybe, but other than that, it's nothing. Yeah.
So, like, I have a contract, I'm deployed, now I want to upgrade something, and I have a second revision, I need to change this to deploy. So, both will be active, right?
Yeah.
Both will be
Yeah.
active. Is there any way to disable the first one?
No way. Think about it. If you make a token and there was a way for you to destroy it, nobody would trust it. Yeah.
How how do you specifically call a function? So if you said you send Anthony goes to the fallback.
We can go over in the future meetups.
Okay.
But yeah, you can call functions through JavaScript or through other, you can call functions through other smart contracts or through like JavaScript or like, well, pretty much any programming languages, you just need like a middle layer.
Yeah.
And in JavaScript's case, it's Web3, which is really annoying to use, but a lot of people use it still.
Yeah, but you would have to essentially do that manually, right? So you can't, like MetaMask doesn't provide the option. You can't really do it through my Ether wallet or
it
anything.
doesn't. But in the future, they might have that, but yeah, no, not really. But Remix does it. You can do it inside Remix.
Okay.
Remember how I was looking at the balance?
Yeah.
That's all of these are just all functions right here.
Okay.
Put in the parameters. Yeah.
And as far as you know, there's no debugger that helps like step through
There's
execution.
kind of a debugger down here. I don't really use it though. I guess there might be some useful stuff in it. You have to explore.
Okay.
You got like discounts where you like buy it.
You can program whatever you want.
Like, can you do it?
Oh, sorry, discounts how? What do you want to do?
Like, you know how some Axios have like, if you buy in like first week, you get this rate, and then if you buy.
I have to look up how to use the time stuff, like you were saying, but I can say like, we can change the price every time. You can say like, we can update the price, okay? We can say I set the price.
Like a counter or something.
With the ISO price. ISO price equals so I don't know. ICO price equals 10 to the 21 divided by ICO supply. So basically, every time someone buys some tokens, the price goes up based on how many tokens are left, how much supply is left. I mean, this is really crude, but like this just means that the price changes every time. So the earlier contributors will get more tokens. And if you do that, basically, yeah. Like if you buy half tokens, then the price doubles.
Can I sell my tokens to buy Ethereum?
You could write a smart contract that redeems Ethereum for tokens. But you have to put Ethereum in the contract first. You have to.
Ethereum to contract?
But yes, you can. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot. So if someone sends Ether here, right now it's going to get stuck in the smart contract. But what you want to do is you don't want to keep it stuck in the smart contract.
Yeah.
You want to send it back to yourself. So that's actually really easy to do. You take your address, put it in quotes, put .transfer, message.value. Wait, that's not how you do it? I think there's no quotes actually. Done. So address.transfer, message.value. And that's going to send all the Ether that just got sent to the contract directly to you. Yeah.
So that's
Very easy.
And then when people buy from a contract, would it like actually just?
Reduce what? No. In this case, you can program it that way if you wanted to. But in this case, it's reducing the ICO supply. Yeah. And the ICO supply is just an arbitrary number that I just set in the contract. Yeah.
So after changing this, I have to create new contract.
Sorry?
After changing this, I have to create new contract.
Yes, it's a new contract.
I
Yeah.
cannot update the old one.
No, you cannot. Yeah. You gotta get it right.
different addresses for the different ICOs, or different, like for Ether can use the same address that we have, or like the contract address?
The contract address is different contract address for every single contract.
Okay, and like, because I think I'm confusing it with your wallet address.
Yeah, wallet address, there's two types of addresses.
Okay.
And in theory, there's contract addresses and user addresses.
Okay. So this will just get to the contract address. The code we just put in, it will send it to our contract address, right? Or
The code gets deployed on the blockchain
okay.
and at this address, and
I think you mean
with it through the address.
I think you mean what we just added. Is that a wallet address?
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's my address. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
my
kind of
address,
a wallet.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you want to send it to yourself.
Oh, okay.
If it gets stuck in the contract, you can't do it. You can't. It's stuck. It's gone. Unless there's some kind of code which is able to send it somewhere, deal with it somehow.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's the code right here. This code sends it to me.
Okay. Fine.
Oh, by the way, guys, like on the Slack, if you're interested in learning more blockchain development, not just Ethereum, but any types, there's going to be like I'm trying to build like a blockchain developer community on the Slack. So there's going to be all types of other developers there, and you guys can put your questions there, and I'll try to answer them. We'll try to like get your like projects working. There's like all thing with this type of development is it's kind of easy once you know how to do things, but it's really hard to like figure out how to do it for the first time. But once you figure it out, then you can do it. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. What money or what coin being transferred to you? Is it like coin just gets stuck in the contract? Or
Sorry, you're saying what do you mean coin being
or like I don't like understand what token gets sent to you back.
Ether has to be sent to it. Ether is the native token of Ethereum.
Oh, so the Ethereum gets sent to you?
Yeah. Well, I'm not. This code doesn't send Ethereum. It just deals with Ethereum that gets sent to the contract.
Right.
So actually, this thing right here, message.value, is the value of the Ethereum that was sent to the function. And message.sender was the address of the sender.
So without that line, the Ethereum just disappeared, no one would get it.
Sorry?
So without that line, no one would get the Ethereum that was sent.
Then we just get stuck in the contract. Unless, well, I mean, see this payable thing there? If we did not have the payable thing, then I believe the Ethereum would just like bounce. Yeah. The payable thing allows it to receive Ethereum. If you didn't have that and you tried to send Ether to it, then I don't think it would work.
Can I see the Ethereum balance on my contract?
Sorry?
Can I see the Ethereum balance which I received from
Yes, you
my
can put an
contract?
Ether scan and you can see it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in this case, the contract balance will be zero because I just transferred it all to myself.
Yeah.
But if it didn't have that, then it would just be in the contract.
So how to check that balance?
You can go to EtherScan, for example. EtherScan? Yeah, and check your contract address and it will show you.
I see that. So if you're trying to pull
But in
data
general, you want
from,
to look at like Ethereum nodes, and you read it from the Ethereum node, but that's kind of like more advanced than going to EtherScan. What's up?
if you're trying to pull data from an outside source, you still put it into this, into Remix, like any type of data, whether
Yeah,
it
you
be
can take,
like,
you can have a contract, and you can send data through the contract.
but you build that within this parameter, like you're saying pull that information from, or it has to, like you're building that contract first.
External information would always come from outside the contract. From like real world information.
Yeah, whatever it is, web-based information, something like that.
It would always come from outside the contract. The contract only knows its own little world. It doesn't have any access to outside information unless you actually like.
Gotcha. And then so that will essentially just tell it a yes or a no, and then it'll execute the contract as
Yeah, the
mentioned.
contract can deal with information that's being given to it and like do whatever based on it. You know, like say yes or no based on the information that was supplied.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a question? No. Okay.
Can you give an example if you want to get started with refugees that you mentioned?
I think I'll do that next time. But post it on the Slack. And on the Slack, can you post the link to the WhatsApp group on there? The WhatsApp group is almost full, but you guys can still join. Yeah, don't forget to do the survey. We'd like feedback. What's your question?
I just forgot. But what's your background?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a programmer and entrepreneur, and I've been in the blockchain space for a long time, doing various things. We have a meetup called Bitcoin Day with Alvin from there.
Well,
Yeah.
I posted on Slack, can have a look regarding the question I had.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll probably answer it later, but yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I remembered my question. You mentioned oracles before. What are oracles?
Oracles are, it's kind of like a standard way to supply external real-world information to the smart contract.
Okay.
So it's a way to deal with like if you want to process real-world results, you can't like get real-world results from the contract itself.
Yeah.
It has to come from the outside.
Like another interface.
Sorry?
Like another interface, but from
Yeah,
an external source.
some kind of like some kind of system. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the most like well-known company that's working on oracles right now is called Oracleize.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can look that up and you can also try the things. It's not that hard to like try it out.
And so you essentially just have to
Like,
essentially just
basically
define
you get,
that
like,
the
you
oracle
get, like,
exists.
They give you like
Yeah.
APIs to access
Okay.
information from somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think you put those in the smart contract too. You put like APIs that feed information into the smart contract. You put the APIs into the smart contract. I have to check.
You would have to know how to manage the information from different APIs, though, right?
Well, it's a centralized service, so like if they ever stop, if their company like gets destroyed or something, then it might stop working.
But the contract itself would have to know how to manage the information from the API somehow. So you'd have to define.
Yeah. You gotta look at it to see exactly how it works.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that complicated.
Yeah.
Is there anything people like want to learn for like future meetups? Other like blockchains other than Ethereum? Anyone interested in?
dApps.
Sorry?
dApps.
dApps, yeah, that's a big one, yeah. Like front end, like full stack dApps, yeah. Oh, dApps, yeah, for sure. That's yeah. Maybe one of these days we'll do a simple dApp. Well, don't forget to leave your address because my Google dApp is like one of the advanced classes for now, and you can just come in by paying like a certain amount of dev cash that you get on the speed up. And yeah, I'll announce it when they're ready. But yeah, seems like there'll be some interest for that. I think I'm going to wrap up right now. Pretty much finished. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. What's up?